Welcome, everyone, to the February Residents Association meeting. I think we have something very entertaining for us today. As always, I need to read the fire code. In the event a fire alarm sounds, please remain in the auditorium and stay seated. Should there be a need to evacuate, a Springmore staff member will direct you on how to leave in an orderly fashion. Please remember not to use elevators and to go to a red pole once outside. In addition, would you please take a minute and turn off your cell phones so that we don't have any interruption in the middle of our program. In our pre-meeting publicity, it was noted that Jerome Savage, who is the chief judge of our voting precinct, would be here to talk about procedures for the election. However, since the election has been delayed, he decided along with us that it would be more appropriate for him to come a bit closer to that time. So he will be here simply to talk about Springmore procedures for elections at a later month. Brandon actually is at a conference. He's here in Raleigh, but he did not think it would be over in time for him to get here, so he probably will not be here. If he does, he will come in. So we have Leah Willis today to give whatever announcements there are.
Thank you, Peg, and good afternoon, everyone, and also to those at home watching on Springmore In-House TV. Just a few announcements. The first thing I would like to remind everybody of an amenity that I don't think a lot of people are taking full advantage of, and that is our transportation program. Remember, if you see in the Pathways booklet that we provide transportation to shopping, at area grocery stores, the mall, different strip centers. But if you want to go somewhere else in the Harris Teeter Shopping Center, get on the bus and the driver can take you to the bagel shop. He can take you to the Taylor, to the Walgreens. So there's opportunity for a lot of other stores that you can visit, not just what is specifically advertised. So keep that in mind as you're signing up and make sure to use that amenity. The other announcements that I have this afternoon are from our chaplains, so I'd like to share those. They would like to remind you about the dementia support group for caregivers. That's this Wednesday at 3 o'clock, and that's in 273A West Apartments. Also, the Connections group meets this week, Thursday the 17th at 11 o'clock in North Village and 3:30 in South Village. And then they would like you to know about some things upcoming in March. Ash Wednesday, you can receive ashes in the chapel on March the 2nd. And they will also have a special Lenten Bible study that you can sign up for and get materials. So those are the most of the reminders from the chaplains, and I want to also remind you of our upcoming pizza luncheons that we have. They are both full and with a late waiting list, so it's very important if you find out that you can't attend to please let us know so we can fill in someone from the waiting list because those lists are quite long. We have a lot of pizza lovers, but thank you for your time this afternoon. Enjoy your program.
Thank you, Leah. And now I am going to turn the program over to our Vice President, Dave Waters, who has planned today's program, along with Janet Carter, who happens to be the secretary of the association. So he will tell you exactly how things are going to work.
Good afternoon and happy Valentine's Day to everyone. Today we are going to play the Springmore Oldlyweds program, not the Newlyweds program, because there is one couple that is somewhat newlyweds, but not in the vein of the old show that you saw on television. How many people, a raise of hands, how many people did not ever watch the Newlyweds game when it was on? Very few. So a lot of you are familiar. My name is not Bob Eubanks. I'm playing the part, and I hope I do it justice. But I'd like the couples, the four couples that we have, to come up on the stage and take their place. This is a test to see if they remember what number we told them they were.
Do they understand how dangerous this is?
We tried to make undangerous questions, if at all possible. I will say that we'll have 2 rounds of questions, and the first round will be the men answering questions. Their answers will be recorded with the wives out of the room, and then the wives will come in and see if they can match what their husband said. The second round will be the reverse, where the wives get a chance, and then the men answer questions, and then the men will see if they have any clue of what the answers are. Always works that way, doesn't it, guys? Okay, let me introduce the couples. Starting with couple number 1, we have Sherman and Dell Dillard. They're from South Village. Hey. Sherman and Dell moved into Springmore in September 2020. Sherman taught elementary school, and Dell worked for 38 years for Bank of America, surviving several mergers and a lot of moves. Moving to Springmore was their 12th move, actually. Upon Dell's retirement in 2006, they moved to their beloved North Carolina mountains where Dell had grown up. The move to Raleigh and leaving the mountains was difficult, but a great decision. Those are their words. Their son and daughter and 2 granddaughters live in the Raleigh area. They have been married 52 years. Couple number 2, and I'll step over here, are Barbara and David Smith. They're in North Village in East. And Barbara and David moved to Springmore from Lexington, North Carolina in October 2020 after their marriage in 2005. They both lost their spouses after 40 years, David, and 45 years, Barbara. But Barbara and David had known each other over 60 years because Barbara's first husband and David were fraternity brothers at NC State. And Judd Ammons was another fraternity brother from that time, who was the founder of Springmore, in case you didn't know that. David graduated in dairy husbandry and was a dairy farmer in Lexington, while Barbara took many short courses at North Carolina State and worked as a tax preparer for over 20 years. David has 3 children and 6 grandchildren, while Barbara has 4 children, 12 grandchildren, and 5 great-grandchildren. I know why David married her. He just wanted more grandchildren and great-grandchildren. Having known about Springmore from its beginning, and Barbara's mother and father being residents here starting in 1998, they always knew Springmore was a place they wanted to retire. All right, couple number 3, Carol and Joe Polonis from South Village. Joe and Carol moved to Springmore in June 2019 from their home in Wake Forest. Joe had lost his wife and Carol had lost her husband before they met on an elder hostel trip to Eastern Europe and Russia in 2003. Joe lived in New York and Carol lived in Northern Virginia, and after the trip, they maintained contact through reunions, both in the New York and DC, Virginia area. In early 2005, Joe and Carol met at his sister's house, and on February 17th, 2005, coming up in 3 days, Joe proposed on his knee to Carol at St. Armand's Circle. And Joe repeats this proposal annually, and he said he's going to do it in 3 days. He's going to get down on his knee. They sold their houses, moved to Wake Forest, and got married in October 2005. And so we welcome them as the third couple. Then we have Bob and Emily Castrodale McGaffin and Bob McGaffin. They are our store proprietors. Emily and her husband, Milford, moved to Springmore in 1995 from their home in Raleigh. Emily was trained as a nurse, and Milford worked for many years with IBM. He passed away in 1997. Bob and his wife, Joan, moved into Springmore in 2006 from their home in Raleigh, but Joan passed away in 2009. Bob had also worked for IBM for many years. After the death of their spouses, Emily earlier than Bob, Emily and Bob each began working at the convenience store and eventually met there. Love began to bloom between the shelves and the goods in the room, and they got married in 2012. And as Paul Harvey would have said, and that's the rest of the story. So we welcome our couples. All right, the way the game is played, we'll ask the ladies to exit stage, whatever that is. That stage left? If that's stage left, please exit stage left and go outside the doors while we get the questions ready for the gentlemen. All right, we have 3 questions, and each gentleman will answer the question in turn, and Janet will record the answers because it's important to know when the ladies come back in if the guys thought correctly. Okay, question number 1. Start with Dell and work our way down the line. What is the first thing your wife would buy if she won the lottery? Should be on. Is it?
Can you?
Yeah, just.
Well, what she would get me is probably not what I want.
I think it's on.
Should be on.
The light's on.
Yep, test. Test.
That's better.
Okay, she wouldn't buy me what I'd like, but the first thing that she would buy would be very interesting if I can think of what it would be. One thing is, it's nothing she needs because she has everything she needs, in my opinion, not hers. But if she won the lottery, what would we buy? I would think we would buy a mountain cabin.
All right. A mountain cabin would be the first thing that she would buy with her lottery winnings. They ought to be big lottery winnings. All right. David, any guess what Barbara?
The first thing my wife would buy me would be a new tractor.
A new tractor. All right. Every farmer needs a tractor, right? You bet. Joe?
Okay. Since Carol promised her grandson a ski cottage if she won the lottery, and since she didn't win a lottery, instead, she did a quilt of a ski cottage, I'm going to say she's going to buy a ski cottage for her
All right.
grandson.
And Bob?
I really can't think of anything that she would really like. I think she would like to donate to some charitable organizations.
A what?
Donate to some charitable organizations.
Okay. Donate the money to a charitable organization. That's wonderful. All right. Thank you. Now we'll start again on question 2 with Dell. All right. This is a very important one. Which of you controls the TV remote?
That's not even close because you don't even know where it is and what it is. But I control the remote.
Okay, Dell controls the remote. David?
Well, there's no doubt in my mind she controls the remote.
All right.
Well, I guess I controlled the remote.
And I think at times I control the remote.
All right, so it's 3-1. All right, that's question number 2. And return back to Dell. Question number 3. Does your wife use more paper clips, Scotch tape, or Post-it notes? I know what my wife uses most of.
Will you repeat the question?
Yes. Paper clips, Scotch tape, or Post-it notes?
It'll have to be Scotch tape.
Scotch tape. All right. David?
It would be Post-it notes.
Post-it notes.
Post-it notes.
Paper clips.
All right. We covered the whole gamut. Okay. We're ready for the ladies to come back in. And while they're coming in, guys, you will each get the cards with your answers on them and in order, so you can turn them over face down and wait until they answer. And then we'll see if the answers match.
Test cometh.
I've got the easy job. Janet has the hard job, writing all these down and getting them matched. All right. We will start with you.
Okay.
The first question is, what is the first thing you would buy if you won the lottery?
So this is my husband's answer. What's the first thing he would buy?
Yeah, what is your answer? What do you
Oh,
think
what
he
does think
answered?
okay. What does he think I would buy?
Yes.
The first thing I would buy would be a trip.
A dress.
A trip.
A trip.
A trip.
A trip, okay. All right. He said mountain cabin trip, so a trip to the mountains, no, that doesn't quite match, so pass that on. Barbara,
Yes.
same to you. What do you think David said would be the first thing you would buy if you won the lottery?
Great Scott. What would you say if we won the lottery?
No question on that.
Yeah, but it's her choice. She won the lottery.
I would share it with my children.
Share it with children. All right, that's a wonderful thing to do.
Share it with my children.
Yeah.
Yes.
Share it with children, David.
A new tractor.
This is already a great game.
He wishes.
All right, Carol, you know how this is going. What do you think Joe said that you would buy if you won the lottery?
I think I've already answered that question in my life because years ago I jokingly promised my grandson, who was a little kid, that if I ever won the lottery, I'd get him a ski cabin because he just was learning to ski.
I think that's a match. That is a match. 5 points.
That's because I finally gave him the ski cabin in the form of a quilt.
And that quilt, if you lived in South Village, you might have seen that quilt outside. It's fantastic and very beautiful. So we hope you win the lottery for real. Okay, Emily.
Well, actually, I don't know of anything I would like to buy for myself, but I have enjoyed giving away money in my old age.
All right.
I'm a very frugal person for myself. Oh,
I think there's another 5-point winner. All right, great. Couple number 1 and 2 have a little catching up to do. So we're back for question number 2. Okay, Sherman, which of you controls the TV remote?
Definitely Dale.
All right, I think we have a winner. All right. And Barbara?
I do.
All right. Her. All right. Pass on to Carol.
He definitely does.
He definitely does. All right. Another 5-pointer.
well, he does a lot of the time, but we sort of split it.
All right. He said him. That's a good one? Good match? Okay. All right. Everybody got that one. Great. Now, question number 3. This has got a choice of 3 things. Sherman, do you use more paper clips, Scotch tape, or Post-it notes?
Post-it notes.
Post-it notes. And Dell said you use Scotch tape. I'm sorry, it's not a match. Barbara?
What are the three again?
Paper clips, Scotch tape, Post-it notes.
Scotch tape.
Oh,
Post-it.
oh, Post-it notes. Carol? What do you use the most of?
Tape.
Tape. And Joe said Post-it notes. And Emily?
Paper clips.
Paper clips. All right, a match. All right, good. Good deal. All right, that's round one, and we will ask the gentleman to leave. If you hand your cards to Peg as you leave the stage, and she will collect them. Okay, I'll hand this to you, Sherman, and get ready once they leave.
I'm ready.
All right, we don't have too many dangerous questions on this round either, but maybe the last one is dangerous. We'll have to see. Yeah, I think the last one is going to be dangerous, but we'll start with question number one. What is your husband's favorite vehicle? It can be an automobile, it can be a tractor, it can be whatever. Pickup truck.
I would say his favorite vehicle has been his pickup truck.
Pickup truck?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
A tractor.
A tractor. I knew that was going to have to be the answer. Pass that to Carol.
Is that is or was or anything?
Anything. It could be his first automobile, if that was favorite, or if he's into Formula One racing, it could be a race car, whatever.
Okay. After the death of his first wife, he bought himself a 60s Cadillac convertible that he was going to work on. But then he said he met me, so he never worked on it. So he finally sold
Cadillac
it.
convertible project car. All right.
So I would say that was his.
Okay. Emily?
I would say the Kia that we bought together the first year that we were married. And we love it because it's our little truck to take care of the store.
All right.
We
The
can't
Kia,
live
the white, work no more that you see running around campus. This is slightly controversial, maybe. Which of you eats the most junk food?
Definitely Dale.
Definitely Dell, okay.
The most junk food.
The most junk food.
I do.
Barbara? Oh, Barbara, okay. Carol?
Joe.
Joe, okay. And Emily?
I do.
You do.
You already.
this one ought to be a fun question. Who takes longer to get dressed? Morning, evening, whenever? You or your husband?
That one's easy because I do.
Okay, Sherman said she does.
I do.
Barbara?
I do.
Emily?
Not I. I'm fast.
All right. 3-1. Okay, we're ready. Ready to see how this turns out.
And they're in order.
Okay, guys, here it goes. Dell, what is your favorite vehicle? I mean, vehicle can be, automotive or boat or otherwise.
Well, I hope she said it's the Subaru Forester that we're driving.
Well, she said pickup truck. Sorry. All right. David, what do you think she said? Was it
I think she said a tractor.
yeah, tractor? After the first round, I think that was a given. All right, Joe.
Okay. I'm going to say a Honda van.
A Honda van. Well,
Oh.
he was going back to the days when you were going to rebuild a Cadillac convertible.
A Kia Soul.
Kia Soul. All right. And they're just, Bob and Emily are just over there knocking it dead. All right.
We're not through yet.
Yep. Okay. Voice of experiences over there. And they're the most newlywed of all of the couples. This was not planned, but when we got the couples and I started getting the profiles, we said, here's starting with Barbara and David and Joe and Carol. They were both remarried in 2005 and 2012 for Bob and Emily. And the originals were Dell and Sherman. We won't say anything about that. It's all my fault, I know. Okay, the second question. Dell? Yeah. Who eats the most junk food? You or Sherman?
Well, that will be easy, I think, I hope, but I do.
Him. That's a match. Congratulations. Who eats the most junk food in your family?
I think she does.
Okay. Yeah, you took a whole lot longer than she did when she said that. She said, "Pew." Okay.
Now, is this present or past?
We didn't qualify that.
Well, for the present, I'm going to say neither.
You present, you say neither?
Neither.
Okay, and you said him.
Past.
Okay. And Bob?
I say him.
Her. Okay, I know they're going to have a discussion when they go home to grab the junk
He
food
doesn't
before
know
dinner.
how much I ate.
All right, this is the last one. This is a 25-pointer. Okay, the pressure is on. Dale? Who takes longer to get dressed? You or Sherman?
That's a very easy question. Sherman takes forever to get dressed.
That was, he didn't have to add the last, but the forever, but. All right, David.
It takes longer for her to get dressed.
All right. I think that's a match.
Okay. And I'll say Carol, her.
And I think that's a match.
And I'll
All
say
right.
her.
And Bob?
Her.
She takes longer. Oh, she said that you take longer. Uh-oh. Okay, they're going to have discussion about dressing and junk food when they get home.
We're in the lead here now.
Couple number 2 are the winners. All right, David and Barbara. Barbara and David. All right.
Thank you. That's a junk food.
Some junk food.
All right. And in honor of St. Valentine's Day and junk food, candy. But we have consolation prizes for the rest of you.
Good, thank you.
And you two can fight over that for a little while. They're not big. All right. I hope you all enjoyed our Valentine's Day celebration and our Oldie Weds game. Maybe we can make this an annual event or in February. We won't have it on Valentine's Day necessarily, but this is a fun event. And we only use 6 out of 250 questions that I found online, so we have lots of resources. All right. If you want to stay on stage or leave. I would like to read something. Come off stage. Who of you knows anything about St. Valentine? Is there someone that knows the history of St. Valentine? I don't see any hands raised, so I'll read a short. Although several individuals may have had that name, it appears St. Valentine was either a priest in Rome or a bishop in Terni, central Italy, in the 250-260 AD time frame. He risked the Roman emperor's wrath by standing up for traditional marriage and actually was secretly marrying soldiers to their young brides. When Emperor Claudius demanded that Christians deny their consciences and worship pagan idols, St. Valentine refused. As a result, he was arrested, dragged before the prefect of Rome, and condemned to die. While awaiting execution, his jailer, Asterius, asked St. Valentine to pray for his blind daughter. When she miraculously regained her sight, the jailer converted to Christianity and was baptized along with many others. A miracle had occurred. Right before his execution, St. Valentine wrote a note to the jailer's daughter, signing it, "From your Valentine." St. Valentine was beaten with clubs and stoned, and when that failed to kill him, he was beheaded outside the Flavian Gate in Rome on February 14th, 269 AD. So that's where February 14th comes from. In 496 AD, Pope Gelasius, who was a little bit more favorable to Christians than the first 2 centuries of Roman emperors, designated February 14th as St. Valentine's Day. So that is a brief history of St. Valentine, and Chaucer had a lot to do with promoting it and on down through the ages. But that's the initial history of St. Valentine's Day.
Thank you so much, Dave and Janet. We certainly do appreciate it. Let's give them a big hand for this. I do want to say, we can't hear you.
Battery goes flumpy on it.
That's a technical term.
I do want to say a little bit about our March meeting, which will be the next meeting. We are required to have 2 business meetings a year, March and September. And Brandon has always generously said that we can use those times to answer questions that residents have. You received in January a letter asking you to submit questions of general interest that you would like to have answered in March. We actually got only 3 questions. So we handle financial questions in September, and we have Management Advisory has asked, and it will happen this year, that you will see the budget before you have to ask questions in September, because we think that will be a much better situation. But in the event there are those of you who have other questions that you would like to have answered, since we got such a limited number, please send them to Bill Marley. He's in House 4. He's in the directory, who is chairman of the Management Advisory Committee, and we will go ahead and add those to the plans for March. And it will be on March 14th. So we'll look forward to seeing all of you there. And now we'll do our door prizes. I'm going to ask Janet to draw a number, And Dave has the door prizes, and you see what they are. And that name on the top of them is Godiva. And we thank Vidya, as always, for providing these. She's very generous for us. And the number is 773-5726. 773-5726. Okay. Here we are in the back. And there's one more. And this number comes from the other door. The number is 316-948. 316-948. Very good. Thank you very much. Thank you all for coming, and the meeting is adjourned.